It's just ripping off of NieR. Is what I initially thought. Despite that, something compelled me to buy the game day one and at least try it out. I beat Steelblade 3 times to get all endings and eventually I platinumed the game. I beat the game 2 more times, and when the DLC came out alongside photo mode, things only got worse because I spent hours setting up and taking the best shots I could come up with. I can't understand it. I don't know why I'm so captivated by this game. I even pre-ordered the PC release on impulse, by the way, and I only somewhat regret it. Maybe my addiction to Stellar Blade can be attributed to the slick and satisfying combat and parry system. It's very reminiscent of Sekiro's parry mechanic, but you're given abilities that each have their own uses. There are several combos that allow for enemy disruption when you need DPS or want to look cool. You obtain a gun that I was skeptical of at first, but gives you the ability to bully enemies and bosses alike. This may remove strict and tactical combat you'd see from Sekiro or other Souls-likes, allowing you to hit the panic button, but trust me, this game is extremely tough. Speaking of bosses, it was hard not to ogle nearly every single design. Many bosses in this game have a gritty, raw yet elegant and biblical feel. I was showing my mother some photo mode shots, and she was the one who pointed out the biblical-esque designs of some of the bosses she saw. Noticing that gave me a whole new appreciation for the game. Not every creature in this game will make you want to stop and look, but most are very cool and unique. I'll be honest though, for every 7 good creature designs, there was one bland and uninspired enemy. Some of these enemies are just like, come on man, how do you go from this to this? Bosses are unique in combat as well. You have this big and powerful ape-like creature that jumps around very quickly. It may seem slow at first, but his attacks are very fast and very powerful. Then you have bosses like Raven. She is the definition of a skill check, requiring you to take everything you've learned in one fight. Now, there are some bosses that aren't anything special, boring and borderline uninspired. But on the other hand, you have these insanely fun, high-octane boss fights with good designs and their coolness meter through the roof. The final boss for the bad ending is the coolest looking boss in this game and honestly shares the crown with other bosses from other games. Now, during certain segments of the game, Stellar Blade tanks in quality. If Shift Up were such a fan of Yoko Taro, then they should know unengaging platforming was never the move.
My lady, please remain calm. Anger will solve nothing here.
Fuck.
Whoever greenlit the lazy, uncharted-ass God of War traversal in this game should fucking kill.
We'll K-word them. K-word? You mean you want to kill them? Whoa, yeah. That does sound bad when you say it out loud. And yes, we're gonna unalive them.
I'm tired of seeing this monotonous excuse for traversal. When you have a game that's tight and grounded, slow movement is fine. Dark Souls, Rain World, these games earn their pace. Every step matters. The world is the obstacle. On the opposite end, you have these master classes in traversal. These are momentum-based playgrounds. And these are fine. It's the shit in the middle that I hate, and in terms of traversal, this is where I'm putting this game. It sucks all the fun out of the game and ruins the pacing, but what's funny is they get it right at certain points. The zip lines in this game are straightforward, instant, and cool. Her hair clip is her weapon and gives her the ability to zip up a rope in a second. Why isn't this everywhere? I don't mean the zip line itself, I mean the quick 1, 2, 3 get me to point A to B in a flash type traversal. In one section of the game, I'm exploring the world and boom, I just scaled the side of a cliff. In the other section of the game, everything is brought to a halt. At least they have hyper tubes. These are cool. Essentially, they're
What is that? Watch out!
one of the large factors that save this like a damsel in distress is the soundtrack. Oh my goodness, the music! What a trip this track list is. Shift Up even brought Keiichi Okabe along to help produce some of the music, and if you don't know who that is, Okabe is the genius behind NieR Automata's soundtrack. If you loved NieR's chaotic yet peaceful feel, that is replicated here by 10. You have tracks like White Knight, Wasteland Reboot Type A, Sister's Junk, or Dawn Lively. Ready to put you to sleep or help you relax. In one moment, tracks make you feel sad, like Tachy mode. The next will fill you with righteousness. It won't stop there because Stellar Blade's soundtrack likes to
Now I'm a little motivated.
and some feel like despair.
Can't remember how to say your name.
The soundtrack tells a gripping story of loneliness, loss, hope. If only the game's actual story felt the same.
Why would she want to destroy us?
This information is full of errors. It's just not credible.
Usually, things only exist because people make them. Like us.
How dare you? That's blasphemy! Sacrilege!
Right. Sorry.
The voice acting just isn't compelling most of the time, and that's without mentioning the plot holes. I love the idea. I know what they're going for, and this game scratches the same itch that NieR does. The execution is far from competent. Characters hardly convey any emotion. I understand that someone may be happy or sad, but I'm not sold. I don't truly believe these characters are real.
Oh no. To be. No.
I don't want to become one with Mother's fear. Lily!
NieR isn't perfect. It has its flaws, sure, but for a game so clearly inspired by it, if Stellar Blade wants to dethrone its spiritual predecessor, it's gonna need a lot more soul. That's not to say it was all bad. Subplots, the side quests, they're actually pretty good. I enjoy games that hide lore in items or side quests because what separates a good and bad RPG for me is the freedom to select when I want to consume the lore. There's a difference between forced expository dialogue and lore rewarded for exploration. You learn a lot about the game, Things you honestly shouldn't know yet from completing side objectives. Even things as simple as picking up random collectibles that offer almost nothing. Reading books tell you about the religious aspect of the game, the god that the characters believe in. Picking up posters reveal hidden truths that honestly spoil the game, and it's so revealing, yet you take it for granted until the story unloads everything on you. In Zion, there's a previously locked room where you learn people were kept here on a lie, that they would be saved. In Eidos 7, if you drain the water, you find a room where a bunch of dead bodies lay. You learn these people didn't drown. They were killed and the area was purposefully flooded. That's where Stellar Blade thrives. The story isn't bad. This world is full of life. The characters just aren't compelling enough. In the very beginning, they try to pull a naughty dog and kill off the main character's companion, but we aren't given enough time to understand and love the character. For some of the pieces Stellar Blade gets wrong, it makes up for it in combat, environmental design, music, boss design, in almost every other field. The suits are fun to collect, and most of them are genuinely really cool, but the base of the game was supposed to be that foundation, the heart, makes it hard to give this game a high rating. The game doesn't quite say anything profound, but it feels like it wants to, which scratches the same part of my brain NieR once lit on fire. Stellar Blade is a flawed masterpiece. It's not perfect, but it is high entertainment. Shift Up is only in its infancy, and with Stellar Blade 2 confirmed, I hope they will learn from these mistakes and make the masterpiece they deserve to be recognized for. Despite everything, I will happily 100% this game again on PC.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whitaker, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, God help me.
3 out of 5.